Hi everyone,
Hey.
this is Angie, Michael and
Hey.
Matt. We're in sunny Palvarada on a beautiful summer day.
Summer.
Spring summer, yeah. Because sometimes it's spring and sometimes it's summer. Matt's agreed to come here for us to interview him. He's a very interesting fellow, multi-talented, I believe.
We'll see.
So we're going to ask him a few questions about his journey so far, his spiritual journey, and we're really excited about having him here. How are you feeling today, Matt?
Nervous a bit, but that's obviously due to not doing stuff like this before, stepping out of my zone.
Excellent. It's just like sitting in your armchair at home or in your garden and having a chat with
without
us.
a roof.
Yeah, without a roof.
Yeah, just so everyone knows, because people may want to know this, Matt is a Aries sun, has a Leo moon, and a Gemini rising. We'll bring more of that into play soon. We'll start with that. So, we've got questions, have we?
We do. Do you remember how old you were when you realised you had psychic spiritual abilities?
Oh, this is interesting because the further I go back on my journey in my life I've experienced so far, I have known things without knowing things for as long as I can remember, but then not really knowing why. And also, like coming into my teenage years, my empath stuff started to come in, but I didn't know anything about that kind of stuff, and it really started to affect me, like I thought mentally, but going down, I guess we fast forward to 2020, 2021, interesting time. Went down some conspiracies and then looked into certain different things and then found something called, well, I would explain as like a looking into 5D.
Yeah.
And then not knowing anything about spiritual stuff.
Yeah.
And then me and my best friend Jimmy, we just dived into this thing and started practicing things. And the next thing I know, we come across spirituality and like meditating and doing stuff for ourselves. So I guess 2022 was the year that I really started to unlock these things slowly as I've gone through.
Yeah.
And pinpointing like my anxiety and depression that I went through was actually my empath stuff.
Yes.
That I could feel so much more than I ever knew why I was feeling stuff, and then that's when the knowing stuff come through as well.
Yeah.
And I was told things, I don't know why, but I was told things and how certain situations, relationships would end, and still knowing these things all the way through. Yeah, so it's been a journey of trying to figure out, and then who I am really. Yeah.
It's interesting. When we're really young and we have those kinds of experiences, we don't really question it too deeply because we don't know any better.
Yeah.
And sometimes things start off really early in our lives, and we just go along with it, and then we start to realize there's something different about us.
Yeah.
I think everyone has that potential to realize that there's maybe psychic ability or spiritual ability there. It's not until we get older where we start to actually look into things and really explore it. So it sounds like 2020, which was around the time when people were kind of restricted and isolated. I think it kind of gave people a bit of an opportunity to look into stuff like that.
I was still classed as a, what do you call, essential worker, being a plasterer by trade, so I never had that break and experienced that kind of stuff other than what we've seen. But
it made you question things.
I was questioning stuff a bit earlier, so it was more 2019. I had the whole year was just like, what am I doing? We've got to be doing, there's more to life than just coming to work, slaving away doing this stuff, and then just the ball rolled. And then I guess I went down in mental health because of it's like, what's going on?
Like, you're a bit overwhelmed by those thoughts and where you were going.
And then also the energies around me was affecting me when I didn't know. But then I realised that's what was happening at the time as well. but I'd say 13 would have been the last time I actually 13, 14 was when I like stopped believing in that I could, because I used to be able to predict stuff like randomly and just things with it.
Yeah.
And so that was just a bit of a
It's a party trick.
back then. Not all the time, just randomly. Yeah. So then that kind of, I guess you become a teenager and then become like 15, 16, your life changes. Going from being a child to the man kind of coming in, and then your whole life just spirals. Trying to figure out where you're going and what you are feeling inside, and just the things that you go through and experience, I guess, as well.
Yeah.
So you've got Neptune conjunct the South Node. So what that generally means is it's bringing something from past lives into the current incarnation, something to sort of understand but let go of and trust.
Yeah.
So Neptune generally is about empathy straight away, and spiritual empathy as well. So it's bringing in the heart energy.
Yeah.
Now, because it's in the seventh, which it's really about the projection of what other people and relationships show you, how much of you own that rather than seeing others doing that for you and you seeking that for you? It's a bit of a challenge, in which case it also relates to assistance and spiritual guides. So are you seeing now that perhaps when you're early part of your life, relationships were sort of like guidance, and now you're sort of looking more inside?
Yeah, absolutely. See, when I look back on the stuff now, there was a lot of stuff shown to me which I didn't see about myself, and how I kept putting myself through the same situation over and over until I looked inside instead of externally.
So there were patterns.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because of Sagittarius, which is very much about looking outside and exploring. So there can also be substance abuse sometimes because we look outside of ourselves for higher experiences.
Well, I've had issues with that as well.
And then we look at what the other side of that is, then the rising signs Gemini, so it's becoming more of a communicator. But the communication now would probably be with guides and being a channel. Would that we say that's been happening more and more?
Absolutely. It's something that's really come in really strong this year.
Have you sort of identified any particular guides that you work with?
Yes and no. So still in that process of learning the whole communication side of but
what's possible.
Well, all these planets I'm referring to are all 29 degrees, where Pluto is also lurking. So a lot of people are going through changes because there's about 5 planets at 29 degrees. So it's a lot of very powerful time. So
and especially this month's been pretty. It's had its really good ups, really good downs, but it's starting to balance out now towards the end, which is starting to see more of a brighter outlook than what I ever have before.
So it's a bit of a 3D down and a 5D up, isn't it?
It is. You have the climbs, and then the reality tries to pull you back.
And that's a fairly normal process. When you sort of see spirit operating, you tend to say, well, I can see that, but how do I make it here and now in the 3D? Well, we've got that problem. No, that's a problem, but it seems like it sometimes.
I think it's about relaxing into it.
Yeah.
When you've had all these realizations and you're becoming more and more aware.
Well, I find myself at the moment trying to really get into that surrendering, which I haven't been able to do. And a lot of what's happened in this past month is a lot of the past cycles are actually just closed right out now. So it's I think I'm more able to let myself open up and let it go, and also just close that part of them. And then
Aries and Leo moon, they want to do everything. Control the whole lot. So I can understand that. A bit of fire in this room. We understand how to let go sometimes.
What do you feel is your greatest gift?
Greatest gift, I would have to say that's building as we go, but my healing abilities are really coming on strong, and I think there's more for me when it comes to healing, and I know it goes probably beyond Reiki, and then into a lot more energy as well. So I'm kind of playing with a lot of things at the moment, introducing sound,
Yep.
pendulums, and crystals as well with the Reiki and the energy so I kind of just
You're blending it all together.
Yeah.
That's a good thing to do.
And then working, the more practice and more I do it, I'm getting really good results at the same time. I got a weekly client I had for the last 3 or 4 weeks. So and she's in a wheelchair and she's breaking personal best records for movement.
That's fantastic.
So it's nice to hear these things and know that so sometimes like I have this big, still in the self-doubt thing about a couple of little things, but it's not that big anymore. But yeah, just
bit of skepticism.
I'm just believing in myself still.
Yeah.
Which will come.
But
it comes with putting myself out there and just trying to, how do I say, like I've always struggled with communication. So that's a big thing that I'm trying to change at the moment. And speak my truth a bit more.
Yeah.
Stand up for myself, which I really never did.
Speak from the heart. Yeah. You got Jupiter, Uranus, and the 6th too. That's a very good healing modality, but it's about letting go again. But exploring.
Yeah.
And I think we all go through that feeling of, what am I doing? How am I working with this energy? How are other people feeling it? Is it really working?
Yeah. Absolutely.
My experience is, somebody saw me working and told me what they saw, and then I completely stopped analysing it.
Yeah.
And I think that's what you have to do.
Yes.
You just have to go with it, because when you're worrying about that, when you're working or before you see a client, I think that can be a hindrance because you're not focused as much as you should be.
Yeah.
Yeah. So try and let that go. Who do you admire most as a mentor or teacher?
See, this is interesting.
Alive or dead?
That one, because I would have to say at the moment you are my only teacher.
Oh, thanks.
Because you're my Reiki master as well, and I've really enjoyed our time we've spent the last few weeks as well. It's been meeting Michael as well. It's been an honour. I really hold you two very highly, and
I think we just lead people in the right direction for them to find where they need to be.
It would have been September last year at the New Age Expo, and we talked about Reiki then, and I was just like, this is where I've got to go. It's just about timing, and when the timing was right to do it all, like always.
Absolutely. It's about, when you're ready, and when you're feeling like you need, or you feeling like you should move forward. That's when it happens. What have you studied so far apart from Reiki?
So, tarot. I'm a tarot reader. Self-taught. But I look into so much stuff. That's the thing. Like I'm one of them. I just put myself into all these little things, and I don't actually follow through with finishing off. So I love astro stuff. I love looking at the numbers.
Numerology,
pretty much like everything. There's not much that I don't like and don't want to learn. So it's interesting things because I can't pinpoint anything because I really enjoy looking at everything.
I think the more you delve into this sort of thing, all of those different modalities, the more you can find out about a person.
Yeah. And another thing
help them move
I
forward.
will say is it's like I look into something and then I get this my knowing, and I'm just like, it's like I open something up it's inside, and it's little things. So I do go into stuff, and then I'm like, hang on, I already know this, and then don't know why. So
I think it's in our DNA.
And now at the moment I'm looking at all ancient stuff, and I'm just fixated on. I need to find myself some older books, something that's not new, and I've been guided to look at a couple of areas, and it's interesting. So I'm stuck on Babylon and I'm stuck on ancient Egypt at the moment. And lots of things are coming up at the same time, but they're still all got to be put together. The puzzle's still piecing together with that stuff.
Sometimes it's hard to know what to look at first.
Oh,
I get that.
yeah.
I think that it's that's about just looking.
Yeah.
And there's going to be a time when you just start to realise it's all the same thing.
Mm.
And that's the good spot. And then you realise you're actually connected full time to it rather than looking for things. That you just say, "Oh, I know it'll find me."
That's how, like, it's funny you say that, because that's how things have been. Like, things just find me, and I'm like, oh, hang on.
Yeah. So same with clients, you'll just go, don't know what to do here. Oh, now I do.
Yeah.
Just pops in, doesn't it? And letting go of the energy. That's, again, Jupiter, Uranus, it's just like these.
I also enjoy
out of the hat.
reading crystals.
Yeah.
Like, I get so much more than, sometimes even more than when I do a tarot. But interestingly, like, I do my tarot a bit different. So I use my intuitive psychic stuff as well as what the cards are telling me as well. So I flow it all into what I'm receiving, what I'm reading.
Yeah.
As I read the story as well as what I'm receiving, and adding it all together. And
crystals are interesting because they've got the vibration of the crystal, but the vibration of the person who owns it.
Yeah, because when I first started, which we'll probably get into, but yeah, when I first started actually being able to, it was instant, just like electric shock, just straight through me, and I'd be like, whoa, like, and then I'd have to balance my own energy to be able to read it, because I was just like, So I had this I've got this lapis lazuli crystal at home, and every time when I had this experience, July last year, and then I've been able to read since then, just like that.
So it switched something on. Yeah. That's incredible.
That's from Egypt.
And that was to do the day after, I don't know, the Schumann resonance had a blackout in July or June last year, and then when it come back on, it shot out in a geometrical pattern. And I don't know if that was to do with something or what we got hit with that day, but I literally had some very eye-opening experiences in the next following weeks. Yeah.
Are you journaling this?
I'm not a big journaler. I've never been a big journaler, but I just remember it all.
Wow.
And I got really good memories.
Yeah.
You read a crystal for me on Sunday.
Yeah.
That was pretty interesting.
They're interesting, them ones, sometimes. With the group setting, because it's getting, I like to tone them down a bit. It's hard for me to leave, and then I'm connected, and grounding myself afterwards can be hard.
Yeah.
I was going to ask him what he thought love meant.
Love.
For you, anyway.
That's a journey. That's a definite journey, because I had the understanding in 2022 that what I thought was love was lust.
Okay.
So then my whole life span another circle of going into myself and figuring out and it's an interesting one. I would like to say that I've probably felt it, but it's an interesting one, because I try to show myself this, but then through my path and journey, things have been interesting and different to other people's. And because I looked at that question, I was like,
So we could be talking about romantic love, or we could be talking about unconditional love.
Well, that's the thing. When it comes to
love amongst people, as in humanity.
I try, like, these days, to really come from my heart space more than any other thing. So I try to project more love when maybe I don't look like it or see like I'm doing it. But actually, it's an interesting one.
It's like a feeling.
Because it's being a father, like, I know what love feels like and how to give love. But it's like, sometimes I question myself, can I actually receive it?
Yeah.
That's just because of my journey and what I've gone through and stuff like that. So, and then sometimes when I feel like it's on a romantic sense, or even sometimes just friendships and stuff like that, like it's interesting because you do open up to people because I've been working on being vulnerable. So when I try to open up to people, it's been misunderstood, and not taken into account properly, and then it's kind of taken in a bad way, I guess, because I'm trying to do things for myself these days and set my boundaries, which I've never done because I've just always been the giver and just give myself away. So interesting because of the giving side of things, it's not receiving, and then looking back on life and going, did I ever, or was it?
Yeah.
Like,
I think for some empaths, probably quite a lot of empaths, I don't know whether Michael will agree with this, it's about being worthy of receiving.
Yeah.
Of receiving anything, help, support.
It's funny you say that because I'm like a very independent. I won't ask for help.
No, I'm like that too.
So that's one thing that I'm richly, like
it's all this Leo in this room hearing it before.
going through that whole. I'm going through these whole things of trying to come into the communicative, more loving space instead of the old ways of trauma responses and reactions and.
So you're sort of trying to identify different frequencies when love is sort of mentioned or experienced or sent or received.
It's interesting because I'm a big thinker and feeler, and then I sometimes get lost in that thought. I always know how to bring myself back to these, which is I've really worked hard on about. I can go into my thinking space and then go, no, I'm not going to get stuck in that now like old times. And repeat patterns.
Overthink it and go down the same path.
Yeah, thinking's not cranked up to what it should be.
No. Sometimes we do too much.
It tends to be an issue, I think, for most of us. Thinking is problematic. Especially with a fire Mercury.
Yeah. What would be your greatest wish with regard to your career in this spiritual journey that you're on?
It's all just starting. It's I wouldn't say a wish, but it's like it's going to be more of a fulfillment thing that I'm going to be able to. I say not so much help people, but guide them the right way. Eventually, when I open up to the stuff that I'm opening myself up to with the Reiki courses and working with energy healing stuff. So, like, I would love to be able to do help people energetically in that sense, and also had a big realization that I have to probably do some studying into some trauma counselling as well in the whole sense because I have brought up some stuff unintentionally, not knowing myself, my power and gift in my healing. I have to be careful.
Yes, definitely.
So I know personally if someone does go through a situation where they do trauma gets brought up and they do break down in the process of the session, I know how to counsel them through it in a safe space, which I do practice that at the same time, let them know they're in a safe space, and I know they feel safe with me while I'm doing the work, but it's just something for me that I would like to personally be able to go, yep, we've triggered something here, we need to.
That's a really good idea. I do encourage anyone who
speak it out or just release that little bit they're holding on to, because I've already activated the release where if they hold on to it, there's a bit of a spiral for them afterwards. So something that I'm really going to look into.
I always encourage anyone who learns any kind of energy healing or anything in that kind of modality area to have those skills, or to refer them on to someone else who can help them.
That's exactly right.
How are we doing for questions? Is there anything that you'd like to ask or you'd like to say from this list of questions? Which do you think? there anything else on there
You
that
might
you'd
want
like
to read.
have a read? You said some of your favourites were on it.
I mean, do you have a favourite crystal while you're going through that?
Favourite crystals? I have lots of crystals. But overall, my favourite crystal would have to be... I really like my lapis lazuli crystal. But ever since I've been wearing this moldavite, it's really changed things for me.
It's very powerful.
Yeah, I had a powerful experience, not yesterday, the day before, in a meditation. I felt my necklace move up to my throat, and then the energy that it was producing was something I never felt before. It was
big energy.
just straight in the throat.
That's it's a crystal that some people might not be ready for, but there are some that can just wear it and really benefit from it in lots of different ways, with intuition, with psychic ability. It is an incredible stone.
It helped me get more in a flow state. Even though this year's been a bit up and down, but it's literally still helped me stay a lot more grounded than ever before. And I've been able to wear it
all the time.
It didn't really knock me about. Skyrocketed me more than
Excellent. Well, I think we're coming up to the end of our 30-minute period here.
I would like to add something though. If I can say anything for anyone out there, is really try to go inside and figure out what you need for yourself, because you will have so much fulfillment in your life afterwards. Like,
exactly.
It's changed my life so much. Like, I can't stress it enough how much like the work and the inner child work has really helped me get to where I am.
So we can use a number of different ways of doing that. We can use being attuned to Reiki is always a good start to be able to feel your own energy, to be able to sense other people's energy. Looking at your astrology does give you a deeper understanding of who you are and why you're here, and what your hidden talents might be, and maybe why you're in certain patterns. And tarot, well, you know how much tarot helps people. So
provided you can be detached enough about what's going on. It's important to get to know yourself that way, but it takes a bit of reflection.
Discernment's a good one with it as well.
Absolutely.
Really being strong with yourself and your boundaries for yourself.
Yeah.
Even though they're hard, it's always a hard effort and a hard job to set these, but
and I think you get used to it. The more you do it, the more you get used to it.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, thank you for letting us interview you. Hope you don't feel like you're being grilled today.
No, actually, it's been good.
I think we probably could have done another half hour.
Quite easily.
Yeah.
It's been nice. Got me out of my zone, so it's good.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
I enjoyed it.